what are your expectations of master's thesis?
From my master's thesis?
Yeah.
Okay. See, master's thesis, I always compare master's thesis with a PhD thesis, okay? So these are two different kinds of thesis. In a master's thesis, it's always quick, okay? So you spend less time compared to a PhD thesis, and you choose a topic that gives you good insights into certain areas of knowledge and practice. But you should be able to do it fast enough to achieve the results. Whereas a PhD thesis is a more long-term project, and it requires you to gain in-depth knowledge into certain areas of inquiry, and thereby it also requires you to make a more substantial contribution to the areas that you pick as your areas of research. Okay, so if that is the comparison between a PhD and a master's thesis, I would think that someone who is able to do three things. One, pick up a topic which is very interesting and very relevant to the society and to the environment, and thereby also design research questions that can be answered in a timely manner. It should not lead to a situation where the student is just lost in seeking answers to those questions. Okay.
My next question is that what do you think? What was the biggest challenge that you faced in your thesis when you were writing?
For me, if I can correctly remember, I have an inquisitive mind, so there's a tendency to get interested in many things that you see, as master students or as research students, we always get into a practical situation where you deal with human beings. In a human world, there are things that are complex, there are things that are multidimensional, and then you start to get engaged with many things. One of the challenges that I faced and many other students would face is to stay focused. When you're seeing so many interesting things, what interesting things you would pick to work on? You cannot attempt to work on everything that you see, because everything you would find interesting, cannot constitute your topic. So to be able to swim through those multiple interests, but then also be focused on one or two areas that will help you to achieve your thesis goals, was a big challenge for me, and I see that as a constant challenge for many other students.
What research methods did you use in your thesis, and how did you decide about the thesis research methods?
Two things which helps you to decide your research methods. One, what background you are, So if you are from a qualitative social science participatory background, so you would tend to use a more qualitative and participatory and kind of an approach to research. For me, given my background in qualitative research, I used a qualitative participatory collaborative approach, whereby I did a lot of semi-structured interviews, I did focus groups, and I did a lot of village meetings. So really talking in big groups, and then focus group helps you to kind of go and talk to specific groups of people. So women and men as two distinct groups, but at the same time within men and women there are different caste groups, because I work in India, so there are different caste groups which would not get along together in the same meeting.
Exactly.
So you have to have separate meetings with them to validate your data and collect your data. So I basically broadly use qualitative and participatory approaches through semi-structured interviews, focus groups, and village meetings.
Okay. And how many graduate students, if you remember? Yeah.
I'm working with 4 graduate students in different capacities now.
And so, what advice you would like to give us as a seed students that we should take along for our thesis research?
Yeah, I mean, students need to be focused. At a master's level, you need to be more focused. Of course, PhD level work will require different kinds of focused work, but at a master's level, you need to focus because you have only limited time and resources. And the second aspect is you need to bring a balance to different things. So you're doing academic work, but at the same time you are operating in a practical field situation. Thereby, how do you balance between the requirements of a practical world and a more academic kind of world?
Okay, Pradeep. So can you give us just one tip in one sentence about defense thesis?
See, defense thesis is a cumulative process. So if you have a good thesis, you have a good defense. So just be careful about that.
Okay, thank you so much, Pradeep. That's really helpful.
And good luck for your future.